that Cloud9 go. So with them being with their backs against the walls, we got to have a magnifying glass here. How are Cloud9 going to construct a winning draft here for them to even push them to the game number 5?
Part of my prediction was just that. If you call this series close to 50-50, they split the games 1 and 2. That happened. But the later the series goes, the more it favors 100 Thieves. That's why I have them taking it 3-1.
I think a Sion first pick's going to happen here because they throughout the entire series, they've been banning Pantheon, Azir, Yone. It seems like Azir and Yone won't be a factor until maybe that game 5. But for now, I think teams have generally, if all the OP picks are out of the way, Sion has been something they've been comfortable to go to. But I wonder what the option's going to be for either of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at it, and Gwen is still available. So that's the only thing. Gwen is like one of the really good tank counters. So they go with a blind Sylas before seeing any other ultimates.
Interesting.
So
I mean, it could technically be a flex.
It's for sure a flex.
Yeah.
Blabber definitely does play us in the jungle as well. So that is even possibly a triple flex. You can throw out a top lane Sylas as well in some matchups.
Hey, he experienced the XU Sylas, just last series. So
yeah, it was great.
You saw it on the other side of it. So yeah, good enough flex pick. And also, even though I was talking about a Sion pick, Aatrox would be a nice pick into it, and I love to see Thanatos' side against the tank pick. So I want to see what 100 Thieves go for.
Yeah, we have the Rakan locked in for Eyla. We talked so much about how good that was for them. In their last series, his engages were great. And River hovering the Sejuani right now. The thing I would be most curious about if he locks this in, which he is going to, is if they're going to go Gwen on this rotation as well either. Because again, as Kobe already mentioned, she's still up and has been a pick that thus far has been pretty heavily prioritized in bans.
Yeah, and on this patch, she did get nerfed a bit, but a lot of top laners are still quite confident in the champ.
And also, I feel like Dokla has been pretty confident going Jax into the Gwen after the nerf as well. So all of these options are still available. So it seems like that both teams are kind of just maybe even, potentially, going to be setting it up for 4-5.
And there is still the top lane possibility, but I am now pretty much expecting the Sylas to go mid now that Blaber is locked in. Xin Zhao, and then we have Sivir locked in for Zven.
That's an early pivot away from the flex, though. Like, I guess you do still have engage ultimates to steal away as a Sylas, so maybe they're like, that's enough, we'll just have it blind mid now. But interesting that they're willing to drop that. Sivir is the AD carry either way to help kind of just clear the waves, be that scaling AD carry in the bottom lane. But the Viego.
That's likely a Viego mid.
Yeah, I think that's going to Quid. We have seen it a few times.
And Viego actually is really good with the buffs, the laning buffs that he got in combination with Sejuani. So you can actually start out a lot of plays yourself. You stack up Sejuani pass insanely fast with this champion, and you burst that target down. Like, that is a crazy potent mid-jungle combination. And as we just went over, mid-jungle has been a huge influence in this series.
Yeah, it's been massively important for both teams in the series. And I also love, again, we talked about 100 Thieves drafting strategy, and I feel like even when I disagree with some of their more out there drafts, it still feels like they are, when they're at their best, drafting for their specific players, right? And Quid is someone who we saw bring the Aatrox mid out previously. That was kind of one of his breakout, like, funky swap performances. So I'll be really curious to see how he does on this Viego.
I'm just so happy to see how why Golden Glue was like so confident, deep and fearless, and we get to see fun stuff like this.
An immediate payoff, and I just got to take a moment to appreciate Quid. Ever since the Quiggle moment on broadcast, he has just been popping off. On the Melee champions, on the range as well. I mean, I think that we need to have a stat like pre-Quiggle, post-Quiggle.
I feel like his pre-Quiggle stats are also pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Maybe just the champ pool, but this is definitely making that exciting yet again here. As next round of bans, Gwen is taken off the table alongside the Jax. And so,
I already said this champion multiple times, but now you're just setting up for a Sion. It has to be the Sion, especially since you're taking the carries away. Both Jax, Gwen, Jace is out of the way.
I was thinking
Aatrox is still there, so.
Kaisa.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of potential to dive here with Sejuani and Rakan engaged, and first damage coming from Viego. definitely does look pretty good for dive options.
Yes, when I look at Viego, I always look at champions to try and set it up with that extra damage, which is why I was liking the Jhin, but Kaisa does fit the rest of the comp too.
And when I look at, oh, you're going to be diving into me,
Yeah.
I love to see the Renata come through. That was an immediate response. Really, really love that. And then there's your Sion, Rez.
And now we get the Aatrox. It's like they just wanted to have Thanatos play the Sion side. Now I wonder if C9 has like a good amount of damage here, because you have Sion top side, you have Sylas and Sivir as your main carries. Sure, you have Xin Zhao, so it's like not that bad. I like the Renata just for the engage from Rakan, Viego, and Sejuani. At least that works out there. But yes, the Aatrox gets there. It's a great pick for Dokla. He wanted to allow Thanatos from this beginning of the draft, it felt like, to get the Sion. So which draft do you guys like prefer?
Man, it is so risky to bet on a lane Viego, but
I want to do it too.
I'm not going to.
You're not going to?
No.
It is risky. I really want to do it, but I'm just not going to do it. Lane, I'm going to go with the Cloud9 side.
Yeah, I really want this to work because I think it's super fun. And I also feel like every time I go against a 100 Thieves draft, they always prove me wrong, so maybe they'll do that here. I do feel like C9 have answers to that though, and a much easier setup, especially for a team that's going to want to be flying into them.
Yeah.
I like the 100 Thieves draft. I think they win the 2v2 mid. I think the top lane pick, it's exciting. It's very exciting. I'm excited. You're excited.
I am
Are you
excited.
excited?
I'd be excited if I was playing the Cloud9 draft.
Yeah, I don't think Isaac agrees with Raz on the the state of the 100 Thieves draft here.
And you never know, right? 100 Thieves have been able to pull off some really impressive team fighting with some very difficult comps, and I do feel like it fits their style, but like 4 melee into Renata and Sivir and Sion just feels so hard to make work. That if this was a solo queue draft and my teammates picked that, I would be dodging 100%.
Just take the -3, chill for 5 minutes.
Instantly out of there, no second thoughts.
Well, doesn't work on stage games. 100 Thieves, they have a chance to eliminate Cloud9 right here. Remember, if you win today, even if you don't win out this weekend, you're still going to get the opportunity to play in the cross-conference matches over the course of the next couple of weeks. You're still going to have a chance to go to Dallas, a chance to go to Worlds. But losing today means your season is over. You are on the couch, butts in seats, at home for the rest of the year.
You can still go to Dallas as a fan, you know? Go hang out, have some fun, watch some games.
Yeah, okay, fine. Your butt could be in that seat, but it wouldn't be on the stage seat.
You know?
Yeah.
Also, if you get eliminated by a team comp that Azale says he would dodge in solo queue, it would add a little bit of the insult to the injury. I mean, if nameplates were on, though, and Quid was playing Viego mid, I don't know if you're dodging that game.
If Quid is in my elo, he could be playing Janamin and I would not be dodging because he's going to carry the game, right?
Maybe that's how he sees this series. You never know how confident he is.
In a diamond solo queue game, I'm counting on Quid to carry me, yes.
A little bit of low master Janamin.
Yeah.
Just having a good
diamond.
time.
Oh, can Quid get it done? Yes, I think he can.
All right, well, while we contemplate Quid in Azale's elo, we got Kangas standing by for an interview with Inero.
Thank you very much, Inero. It seems like the casters are confident in your draft for this game number 4, which I know, actually, we see a level 1 here. I want to get your thoughts on that first.
Yeah, awesome. Rakan looks a little bit fisted. That's good for us. We take those.
Okay, all right. So how do you feel about the draft going into that one? I know sometimes you're saying it's shaky after game 2.
yeah, no, this is good. We're really happy with this one. We had a pretty good read on what they would do the whole way down. Only like mini surprise was the Kaisa pick, I guess, but no, we're pretty happy. I think this is good. This is a rare game for Nick Smith. We take those.
Okay, now vibes of the team. Backs are against the wall, eliminations on the line for the rest of this series. So how are the vibes on the team right now?
We're just focused. We just talked about what's next. Just move on from the game. We kind of know what their team's going to do. We fall for it a good few times, but we know what's happening. So just focus on the game.
All right, fair enough. Well, we saw that a thief was running around and stole a briefcase from the team, so I wanted to give this back to you. I believe that was your notebook for some of your draft notes there. Great draft despite not having that, but that's it from us. Back to the casters.
I like he's like, we know what they're doing. We've fallen for it a few times, but we know what they're doing. It keeps working, but we do know that they're doing it.
We figured it out, but
fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, I won't be fooled again.
Fool me the third time? Okay, you got me on that one. Fair play.
Have fun in Dallas.
Have fun in Dallas.
Fool me third time, have fun in Dallas. That's crazy.
That's too good.
I'm excited to see how this Viego mid is going to work out, though. Obviously, did get some buffs recently on the patch. Flat 10 damage added to rank 1 Q is quite a lot. They also buff the healing you can get from the Q passive autos on those marked minions. So it is stronger in the lane 1v1. And I mean, 100 Thieves, yeah, like, I think it's a hard draft to play, but nameplates are on, and Quid is a beast in these kind of situations. Like, just look back to a Akali game. I think this is harder than that, but that game I thought was super hard to play Akali, and he just absolutely monstered that game.
And we'll see if they can pull something off. Sejuani is flanking.
All right, Loki could be in some serious danger here. Arctic Assault with a flash follow-up, collides with Loki, forces the response flash from the Sylas.
Still a really good gank, though. He's managed to full clear. He's still going to be able to get a crab. And now he has the ability to return gank because Quid can still flash CC Loki even if River had to burn his flash. So they have kill threat now for the next 5 minutes.
Oh, this is pretty rough as well. FBI getting zoned off there as Blaber was down to that bot side. River showed mid, so they know there's no possibility of a counter gank. And that did mean FBI had to back off a little bit, but thankfully is able to walk back up.
All right, teleports returning both mid laners back now after their first recall. It's a Cull plus refillable potion for Quid, meanwhile amplifying Tome, plus a Dark Seal for Loki. So similar buys in terms of the value there. Zven and Vulcan fighting back as Eyla tries to get a snappy trade. Him and FBI still stuck underneath this turret.
I mean, this Kaisa is going to struggle in this lane against the Sivir shoving in and also the Renata range. So I'm looking to see if 100 Thieves can find a window to maybe swap and start using that lane prio top that Dokla has to bail out the Kaisa Rakan a little bit.
And something I will say, as we're going to talk a bit about this, some of the previous Cinderella runs that we've seen, some of the kind of greatest ones that people think of all time, you know, way back in the day, Cloud9 in 2013 summer, CLG, they were a top seed, they were a second seed, but because they were up against TSM and TSM just always won and they had all that history of not being able to do it, that to me was another great kind of Cinderella story. EG, one of the great ones, back with Danny and JoJo, and then most recently, Energy here as Eyla is very far up, will be able to get out. But 100 Thieves are looking to, you know, create their own Cinderella story, right?
Yeah.
This is a team that 1-6, pre-best of fives this split. They were expected to just be instantly out, pretty much.
Yeah.
It was a week, maybe 2 weeks before that, that Palafox called them the worst team in the league. And a lot of the pros that I was talking to were absolutely agreeing. So this wasn't just like a Palafox thing. Everyone was saying this team was going nowhere fast, but they have so quickly turned it around, and they're just on fire.
Yeah, they probably were the worst team in the league, and that's the fall-off that they had after actually making finals in Split 1. So we've seen this team ceiling, we think, we've seen their floor, and now they're reaching back through the ceiling again, is how it feels like their season has bounced up and down.
And I'm so interested in this mid lane matchup. You know, it is a pretty significant advantage now after River shows up mid, trades flashes. 13 CS with the waves equalized here is nice for Quid. And one thing I will say is I'm curious how much Loki has played against this, right? Because Quid, if he's bringing out, has obviously practiced it. You learn some of these matchups. You know what it's going to look like. When something like this comes out against you and you haven't played against it, you honestly have no idea. Am I supposed to trade? Do I have to play way back? Do I need to play aggressive at this timing? That is something that pros really depend upon, you know, to have success in these laning phases. It's that repetition. It's that understanding of the matchup. And I just wonder, does Loki know it at all?
I mean, add that to the fact that he had to burn his flash early, so Quid can kind of do whatever he wants. But we do see the swaps coming through already with the Sivir Renata being top lane, trying to push in Dokla, and Blaber on the way as well.
Okay, Blaber is level 6 on the Xin Zhao critically. River still only level 5 on the Sejuani, so ulti advantage is here for C9 in terms of junglers. Ayla's making his way up. River just pokes towards Blaber here a little bit, does not want to overcommit onto that level 6 Xin Zhao. And they're just going to go ahead and relieve Dokla up here, as now he'll teleport back down to the bottom lane because the wave is already being crashed into the turret by Thanatos.
And this amount of sustain that Quid has is just so high. He already has the Vamp Scepter, he already has D-Blade, he has the Cull, and you do have that passive healing when you hit a minion with your Q, you can get those autos off. And he's going straight for Blade the Rune King. Loki's going to have to go back to base again because you get hit by one more stun, it will be the Heartbreaker coming through, it'll be that ultimate coming through, and likely you going down. So it is definitely risky right now for Loki. Quid looking comfortable on this so far. The question is, can he be successful on it in the 5v5s? Yeah. Can you avoid, you know, Vulcan's hostile takeover? You can do things like timing your R to immune the hostile takeover. That can be really nice. There are some windows to be able to outplay that, but it is going to be really, really tough fighting through all of this CC. Loki, if I'm him, I'm looking for stolen Rakan ults in these fights, and I'm just running through the 4 melee with a stolen Rakan ult and looking for that counter engage to set up Zven and Vulcan to have a massive hostile takeover and just ricochet down a 4 melee team.
It's crazy how confident he is right now in lane, though, on Viego. Like, just auto-attacking for the 2 plates rather than taking a reset means he's not scared at all about what Loki can bring back.
I mean, look at the gold advantage on this guy. Just in singular combat, yes, his opponent did have to flash early because of the 1 gank, but with no kills or anything, he's up 720 gold in this matchup, 8 minutes into the game. It's a great laning phase so far for Quid, as we do have C9 taking the Void Grubs. They should secure all 3 of those uncontested. 100 Thieves happy to just handshake these first couple objectives and take the Drake themselves.
Yeah, the producer just told me, Azale, in terms of, as there's a fight top lane maybe with Eyla, in terms of playing against Viego, in Loki's solo queue account, he has 5 games against Viego.
Okay.
2 and 3. But I'll say he's got to have played against it or played it in scrims a little bit, because I have a random anecdote. About 5 months ago, as Reaper was walking backstage before the show, I was just like, Reaper, what's hidden OP? And he was like, Viego mid. This was 5 months ago. So they've definitely known about it, at least tangentially, but I would agree, there's no way they have a large volume of games against it.
Yeah, and have you played this specific matchup, right? And it just looks like, honestly, a really good one for Quid.
Ooh, nice flash there from Thanatos, escaping the Glacial Prison. Does not want to get caught by River's gank, but that is Summoner Spell down for the C9 top laner.
Yeah, River, 2 ganks, has been quite effective. Sitting on TP right now as well, as he is playing Spellbook Sejuani, so could look to answer any other plays that are happening on the other side of the map right now. But I will say, this 2v2 has looked so rough. Rakan, Kaisa, not very strong laners. If you can't all in, you can't do anything. And guess what? It is really hard to actually all in against Renata Sivir. So they are constantly pushing in. We've talked so much about mid lane, but Sivir has more of an individual gold advantage than the Viego. And teams know how to play with Sivir. It's very easy. You press W and you hit what's in front of you, and you kind of just ricochet through the whole team. So I do feel like even though this isolated mid lane matchup is looking good, it's still on 100 Thieves to be able to execute in what I think is going to be a way harder comp to play.
I really thought you were just going to go with it's just a Sivir comp. You press R and you win, but you're talking about the ricochet.
Run
it was close. It was close. But I completely agree.
idea.
I completely agree with how far ahead Zven and Vulcan are and how they're actually running the map. They'll also be able to switch to the mid lane whenever they want and get basically permanent mid-prio. They'll have the spell shield to try and stop a lot of the engages from either the Sejuani or the Rakan. So Zven, Vulcan are actually the ones set up to carry this, and then Loki, Thanatos, Blaber, the supporting characters.
I mean, if Vulcan eventually gets Mikhail's, then it's like, okay, well, you know, that's a lot harder for Sejuani to be able to start off any fights. So, of course, there is the cleanse on Zven. He does have his Yuntal now. A straight up just Thornmail rush here for Thanatos. And I mean, it is basically all physical damage over on the other side. Like, yeah, sure, Sejuani does a little bit of magic. Yeah, sure, there's going to be splashes of magic damage in, you know, from FBI potentially. But this is basically full physical and 4 melee. And Thanatos is going to be a brick wall.
Yeah, River is going to gank that wall, though. Try to knock it down. Dokla misses the Q2 sweet spot. Q3 going to collide there with the Glacial Prison, setting it up. Thanatos staying alive a moment longer. The shield is up just in time. 100 Thieves are having to commit a lot to get this. They do manage to do it. Thanatos' dead body can't get that last hit on Dokla to make it a 1-for-1.
So the wall needs a few more bricks in it before it can't be knocked down. But
I mean, brick walls can be knocked down. That's a common misconception. The foundation isn't strong. You can just push them over. You don't need to apply much force if you're pressing high enough.
And then they'll just fall and crash.
The foundation is the Soul Furnace stacks, though, which he's working on.
Exactly.
True. Solidifying the brick wall down there that will become incredibly difficult to deal with later on as we get further and further towards these larger fights. The next Drake spawning here south of 2 minutes now, and then the Herald will be spawning just a minute and a half after that. So we could get some pretty explosive action coming up soon, especially with first items coming online for multiple different characters. The Blade of the Ruined King that we mentioned for Quid is there, as he is the first individual to have over a 1,000 gold lead compared to his opponent.
Absolutely. Popped his call. Kept the gold advantage, has gotten 2 plates mid, wasn't able to get any additional plates top lane, but now will be moving up against the Sion to try and see if he can push him out. I'd say C9 still has a lot of lane pressure, but the kill that went over has given 100 Thieves a small lead.
Okay, nice little handshake there coming out from Vulcan to keep the pressure on Eyla and FBI.
And so this will be the last team, you know, to qualify for the LTA playoffs. So all 3 of the South teams have already qualified. The last one did qualify this morning. Of course, FlyQuest and Shopify already guaranteed to be top 3, so they will be qualified in as well. And so this is the last slot available. And if you don't make it there, you cannot go to Worlds. You have to be able to qualify for that. And 100 Thieves, 1 game away from being able to guarantee themselves at least a chance in that LTA playoffs.
Yeah, but also just Cloud9, if they fail here, what if disappointment this entire year will be, because they were a team fight away from beating FlyQuest in the Split 2 final and going to MSI. So if that happens, and then they don't even finish top 3 in the North for Split 3, it would be just a remarkable collapse.
Especially when you look back at the way that the elimination phase was structured. Remember, Cloud9 got to choose, do you want to play Team Liquid or do you want to play Shopify? And then they lose 3-2 to Shopify. They have to go into the lower bracket. They have to deal with that. And it's just like that call might have been the difference between going to Dallas or not going to Dallas.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, but at the end of the day, you have to beat the team that's in front of you, right? And Cloud9 still have an opportunity to do just that. You know, we all kind of like what they have drafted here in this game. And it is a potential contest. River in the area. They're going to TP down Thanatos.
Okay, C9. No, River is nearby. He's going to go in and try to contest this, and he steals it away. River works his magic, but now the hostile takeover flies in over the top. Blaber staying alive for now. Dokla taking a lot of damage, but the first kill goes through, and FBI falls down. C9 taking over the fight now as Quid wants to go in and have his hero moment. Jumps over the wall there. Loki with the triple kill on the Sylas. Zven picking up that last one there on Eyla. The only man left standing is Quid, and he too will fall. A quadra for Loki at the Dragon fight.
And we have seen this one before. Last time it was a quadra on the Zeri. This time it is a quadra on the Sylas when his team needs him most. This is the difficulty that 100 Thieves are working with here. W Smite does secure it, but then look at the hostile takeover across so many members. It buys Loki a ton of space.
Yeah, Loki steals the Sejuani ultimate, uses that to finish the kill and lock up FBI, and then it's just chasing everybody down. It looked like he may have made a mistake flashing here, thinking that is how Quid's going to kill him, but he lands the E2, securing the triple and setting himself up for the quadra.
Yeah, that was so well played there by Cloud9. And I mean, you can see even the bailout delaying that first reset from Viego so long. Blaber was really low HP, but he has the bailout. He's kiting out. That has to, actually get finally finished off. But then Loki just dancing around that team fight, playing it really well.
And this is what you were saying about the draft, right? It's so hard to play this for 100 Thieves.
And so this is what I was talking about. Last time it was in a game 5 against DSG. He gets a quadra. He solo carries the game on the Zeri. This time, even going up against this matchup where he was put down by Quid, first team fight comes, laning phase is over, buddy, and this is Loki's time to shine.
And we talked to Vulcan after this series as well, saying how they're wanting Loki to have more confidence in draft and call for the things that he really wants to play. He called for the Zeri in that game. In this game, they first picked the Sylas, completely blind, and he's having this performance.
All right, Loki, though, chunked below half here in this scrap with Quid. The Viego is still very scary in those smaller fights where he's not contained by things like the hostile takeover or shut down in his resets through that bailout. Dokla on the side here as 100 Thieves
Thanatos
are now going to start this
ult.
themselves. Yeah, Thanatos making his way up, walking that long distance. Herald still at about half HP as 100 Thieves back away from it. River still hanging around. You know there's always the opportunity to steal that objective away. Thanatos just guarding Dokla, does not want to allow him into the fight as the Herald is down to 1200 HP. Smoked down by Blaber. C9 secure the objective.
Good, smart play there by C9. If 100 Thieves had dove in, I feel like they would have been aced again. Just with the setup they have, it's going to be so difficult for them if C9 has the setup on these fights, because the lines they can create with the Renata ultimate as well as the Sivir AoE damage, not to mention how tanky Thanatos is going to be, marking any of the physical damage dealers who are trying to flank. C9 just has so many tools, as we're seeing, to control objectives.
Yeah, and when 100 Thieves just see Thanatos walking over through mid lane, they obviously don't know the split-second timer of the ultimate, right? They just know that it's close to being up. He probably has it. And if you fully commit to that fight, Dokla is not going to be able to actually catch up and rejoin there. So they just kind of had to seed positioning in that area. Loki does anticipate that someone could be coming down into the area. Doesn't actually get eyes on them, but will be sitting back by this tower, and we'll see Ken River and Quid find an angle here. They really do need to be able to try to find some way to get Quid going. I mean, he's looking great in the 1v1s, but just hasn't really been able to find a lot of opportunities to get those.
You'd have to find picks on the side lane or set up dives, but they keep matching him with Sion, and there's no way he's going to be able to threaten kills on Sion as long as Thanatos is just catching waves of turrets. So I really like the way C9 is approaching this game. Quid, yes, he had the good lane matchup into Sylas, but the rest of the composition hasn't lined up so far. With that being said, 2 Drakes and Ocean 1 minute away. One more 100 Thieves team fight, and they could be control the game.
Thanatos is getting awfully tanky. That foundation's looking pretty sturdy here for the brick wall. The extra chain vest alongside the plated steel caps, 800 health farmed through Soul Furnace as the Rift Herald is summoned up in mid lane to take out that tier 1 turret. They could have waited a little longer and gone for the use it as a distraction before the Drake play that we see so often. Instead, just wanted to force that objective down nice and early, get some extra gold in their pockets. 30 seconds until the next Drake spawns. And if that Drake isn't taken as soon as it spawns, it's a Southside Otacon again. And he's going to spawn 60 seconds after the Drake does.
Hit it.
Remember that the first damage dealt to Otacon last game was at 20 minutes and 3 seconds. So we could see some
That
attention on him.
Can't be beat.
That's,
It's not going to happen.
what about 20 minutes and 2 seconds?
It would be impressive.
We'll see. We'll see. There's still plenty of game left to play. 2.3 thousand gold lead for C9, though, as they did earn themselves the feat of turret as well. So that means that they are going to have the feats of warfare and the empowered boots. River here on the approach. Blaber jumps in, and River and Eyla immediately both head back. Loki steals away the Sejuani ultimate. The Glacial Prison will be the call. And as soon as 100 Thieves see that C9 is committing to this, they do not want to take this fight. They back away.
Yeah, and Thanatos TP'd down, so Quid is just going to be pushing on that top side. He used his TP to go up there. You can see FBI joining him as well. They're going to try to knock down a tower here, get some gold back into their pockets. C9 has been able to delay any potential soul. And obviously, if they were to eventually get that Ocean Soul, it would make Xin Zhao and Sion pretty much invincible, but that is a very long way off. So 100 Thieves do have a lot of time to try to problem solve, to try to get picks, to try to find ways to get into this game.
Yeah, let FBI get a little bit of magic damage built up. He'll probably try some type of hybrid Kaisa build here so he can tread a little bit late game, but it's going to take a long time if they want to have a chance in these team fights. Cloud9 is just, I think, a little bit behind on the Drake stacking, but I feel like we'll accelerate the game when Otacon and Baron start spawning.
And honestly, I think from their point of view, they probably don't feel like they have to do anything to accelerate the game. If you can just stay just farming it out, and you have Sion Sivir, and the other team has an Aatrox Kaisa, let alone the fact that it's 4 melee into Renata and all these other things, you're going to be feeling really, really good. It doesn't mean that 100 Thieves can't find a perfect pick and win the fight anyway, but we are seeing Otacon started up here one more time.
20-30 flowers.
Okay, 20-30. It's a little bit slower than last time around, but it is still the target here for C9. Quid making his way over as he clears out the mid lane wave. Bot lane shoved out now by C9. Otacon down to about half HP. 100 Thieves wanting to approach this. Otacon down to 5k. Thanatos looking to keep River away from this objective, but Quid's coming around on the flank. Keep your eyes on the Viego here off to the left. Hostile takeover, not going to get a lot this time. C9, they're taking a ton of damage, and River steals away the Otacon. Now Zven's going to die first. Thanatos might just drop next. C9 gets one back as Blaber takes down FBI, but it's still a 2-for-2 overall. 100 Thieves steal the Otacon.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that Otacon start was insane. River is right there and steals it.
I actually can't believe that just happened. They're in so much control of the game, and they just let River walk by. He gets the steal again. They now have the experience advantage. They get the shutdown onto Zven as well. Any of the patience that C9 was playing with, that 100 Thieves just has to come into them, they can control the waves, they throw it away for the Otacon.
I have been playing this game since 2009, and Otacon is the funniest thing ever added to League of Legends.
Oh my God.
I mean, this is just crazy. River has flash. Like, Thanatos, there's no way he's going to be able to keep him out by himself. They even throw out the hostile takeover just to try to stop him. And now guess what? You have no hostile takeover because this is 4 melee team that are then going to commit to the fight. Eyla flies in. River gets the steal.
Look at FBI!
But again, exactly. Who cares? Because even if you got the Otacon there, you're still going to be getting hit on the fight. FBI is completely ignored. Free firing on your Sivir without even being attacked, because you're so laser focused on spending everything on a Sejuani just to try to keep him away from it being a burger flip at the Otacon, which they still steal anyway.
Is that one of 100 Thieves' tricks? Just like hang out around Otacon and wait for good things to happen?
Wait for the other team to hit him at 20 minutes?
I mean, it's crazy. Cloud9 can still easily win this game, but
I think they will, probably.
That was a wild attempt.
It lowers my confidence that C9 is under control, because I was all ready to talk about Game 5 of their DSG series, how Vulcan talked about on the desk with us afterwards that they were calm because they knew that the other team had to come into them when they had the Zeri and the Zyra. And I feel like this composition is incredibly similar, where they can just set up in front of something, poke you with Sivir, wait for you to come in, and if you do, throw out the hostile takeover and win the fight. That was the complete opposite of what they did that fight.
Blaber in a little bit of danger here. River moving forward with Quid and Eyla right beside him. Blaber's taking a ton of burst, but he's still alive for now. The Xin Zhao ultimate very powerful. Quid about to die, and Zven gets the kill on the enemy mid laner. Now Blaber might just fall, but a nice bailout keeps him safe. Thanatos taking the next kill as FBI's under pressure, and Loki's unstoppable yet again. Chunks back in for the abscond abduct, and it's a clean ace for C9.
It's all fine. Every worry has been dealt with. A complete 5-for-0 ace. This is a cleaner fight. However, it does start rather chaotically as Blaber is in river going for crab, but this is kind of the example of when 100 Thieves try and go in, the hostile takeover just completely bisects the fight, stops them from kind of doing anything. Loki is a huge threat anywhere he goes in the fight, and Zven is pumping damage the entire time.
Yeah, exactly. And Blaber's able to get that bailout. He gets the reset. And there's just no way from there that 100 Thieves are going to be able to win that fight. I mean, C9 have gotten through the most difficult part of the game because Rakan can only spawn once. So they're past it. It's smooth sailing now.
I wish he could spawn more. He's so funny. Okay, C9 though, they're on to their next Drake. They still want to keep 100 Thieves away from these neutral objectives every opportunity they can. River will not be allowed within Smite Steel range. C9 picked that one up.
And remember, the winner of this will play against Shopify tomorrow. If you want to win the LTA North playoffs, from this spot, you have to run the gauntlet. It is back-to-back-to-back days. So you will be playing today. The winner of this will play tomorrow. If they win then, they're playing Sunday as well.
It's a rough road, but C9, that's the one they'll have to walk if they want to try to be conference champions here, as Loki will just head back over towards the jungle, pick up these last little bit of Krugs from Blaber. Dokla here on the Aatrox does have the Sundered Sky plus Black Cleaver completed, so he's going to have some extra armor penetration, maybe a little bit more tank busting capability, but it's still so difficult, man. I just feel like the comp from C9 is really showing us exactly why the 100 Thieves draft is so hard to pull off.
It really is, and as fed as Quid seemed in the laning phase, he has not been able to do anything in these team fights. The one team fight that 100 Thieves won, I felt like, was because FBI's Kaisa was able to free fire onto Zven's Sivir. But 100 Thieves, I think, is going to continue to try and pull off creative plays. Remember, they're playing a little bit with house money. They're up 2-1 in the series, so one big fight could be the series.
Oh, but here comes Thanatos, ready to create some space. Nice hostile takeover as 100 Thieves have to scatter. Quid coming around from the side, but FBI's already died before the fight even starts, man. Dokla tries to get away over the wall, but Loki is godlike, executes him with the Proto Belt, and now River just has to hobble away on the Sejuani. Quid wanted to get the angle. He wanted the pincer attack, but he didn't arrive in time. C9 pulls the trigger. They take the fight, and Baron is theirs.
Yeah, and as soon as they have even a decent hostile takeover, it just feels like there's no way that 100 Thieves can actually rally and fight back. Yeah. All of C9 pile in. It buys so much time. This Renata, I think, is the best champion in the game versus these types of comps, and we're seeing it showcased here.
We really are. Just watch the start of this fight again. River's just trying to anything creative to happen, but hostile takeover runs through everyone. FBI doesn't have a chance as Blaber's able to execute him. You can see Quid just searching for something on the side of all of these fights, because if he goes in, he's dead instantly, and no one is low enough to be executed by the ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so difficult, right? Because you cannot group up against the Renata, right? You can't all come from the same direction. There's no possible way you win the fight fighting through this Sion, so you have to come from different angles. But then C9 are just going to pop Sivir and run at someone, right? With the Sejuani ult, they're going to full send it on one target, and then you can kind of look foolish where you're separated from the rest of the team. You're not there in time. And now Cloud9, 2 dragons to their name, have grabbed back-to-back Ocean Dragons, working slowly towards a potential soul there, but they have the Baron. They're up 6K, and they are on the march trying to extend that gold lead.
Yeah, and small thing, I actually like the shield bow here by Zven. Just a little bit more burst resilience in case anything bad does happen, in case the bailout's a little bit slow. They have an unused stopwatch there on Loki as well, Seeker's Arm Guard. Blaber's working towards GA. Sion is a completed brick house at this point.
Oh, yeah. Randuin's, Thornmail, Jack Show, Thanatos is not dying anytime soon, but 100 Thieves have got to be concerned about their base. It's now 2 waves pushing onto the tier 3 turrets here at the same time. Dokla taking his recall because he knows it's about time for 100 Thieves' last stand. Never mind, repositions back up here in this top side as C9 keep the pressure on. Bottom lane inhibitor is going to fall here immediately as Loki walks up to join Thanatos. Eyla gets caught a little bit. Exhaust onto Zven is the only reason he doesn't outright die.
Ricochet.
The last bounce from Ricochet takes him out. And with the enemy Rakan gone, C9, they've got the green light to push for the Nexus. They'll take out the first Nexus turret already. 100 Thieves on the approach. Blaber frontlining here for the C9 side. Dokla's in World Ender, but the only thing ending is 100 Thieves' chances in game number 4. Loki into the back line with a stolen Rakan ulti, and they take out FBI and Dokla both. Quid and River forced to run back into the fountain, just trying to stay alive, but it's a double kill for Zven. It's an ace for C9. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to game 5.
That was a well-played game for the most part by C9, save for the Otacon. I mean, I really do feel like this was a LeBron James performance from C9's drafting. And Raz, you have to answer why you picked Anthony Bennett instead. After the break.
After the break. First, we're doing some silver scrapes. We'll see you right back here. Don't go anywhere.